and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how you can make this super easy macrame wall hanging. And if you'd like to see how I make it, then just keep watching. So all you need for this DIY is some macrame. You also need a tape measure or something to measure out your lengths. You need a pair of scissors. Any sort of rod. I have absolutely no idea where these came from, but I'm using this. It's actually probably too long, so I might saw down the end, or I don't know, but you can use a stick from the garden. Literally anything you can find, like an old hanger, anything will work. You then need, I've got the measurements here, which I'll pop up on the screen. You need one 97cm long macrame cord, and then 16 210cm macrame cord, and that is all you're going to need for this DIY. It's super simple. So the shorter length is just going to be sort of the thing you hang it up by, but I'll show you how you do that now. So all I'm going to do is, I've got my little pole here, or stick, or whatever you want to use, and get the string, and I'm literally just going to do a double knot how you would normally to attach this. I then will trim down the ends afterwards, so just done one on one side, then on the other side just going to do literally the same. There's lots of different ways you can tie on a macrame. This is just the simplest one, and as I'm not sure what I'm going to do, I might cover this pole anyway. This will work fine. So I'm just going to trim off these edges with my scissors, which is super simple to do. And there we go, we've got a way to hang our cord. You're going to want to hang it up somewhere. Also, just to add, I've also added some sellotape on the ends of these knots to keep them on tight. I'm going to cover them later on, so you'll see how I do that. But to attach your 210cm pieces, you're going to want to fold them in half so the ends meet like this. Then on the other end you'll have a loop like that. You're going to put the loop behind, pull it over, and then pull the strings through. This is a super simple way to start them all off. Now I'm just going to show you, because I've actually done it differently on the first knot, but that's obviously where I've taken it off and turned it round. But as you can see, this is the difference if you go put it behind and pull through, and then put it in front and pull through. So it makes two different. It's completely up to you which one you want. So they're the two differences there. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to take off one. Obviously that's where I've taken it off the hook and turned it around by accident, so that's why they're different on there. But to take them off, so if you do make a mistake like that, simply just, I'm going to do this one, pull it out and through. So it's super simple, and then you can create all the knots going the same way, just like that. So I'm going to do that for all 16 pieces of string until they're all on there. So I've now got all my strings on here. So as there was 16 original strings, that means there's 32 now, where obviously we've doubled them over. I hope that makes sense. At the start that kind of confused me, but that's kind of something to remember. But to start off, we're going to do a box knot. We're going to do one at the top. I'm kind of doing this as I go along, to be honest. I haven't really made a plan. So you're going to grab the first 4 strings. Doesn't matter if you start right to left, left or right, but you're going to get the furthest one on the right and make a 4 like that. You're then going to get the end one, put that under that one, through this one, to create like that, pull it through, and then tighten it. So that's half a box knot. So you're going to just do it the same the other way around. So the left goes into like a 4, the right goes in and under, pull it through, and then it should look, I'm going to show you what it should look like that, before you then, let's get you back sitting down, before you then just pull it tight. If you need a more in-depth tutorial on how to make a box knot, then just look that up, but that's what you should get. I'll do it one more time and hopefully you'll be able to see. I'm just going to do it on these 4. So you're going to grab the right hand strand, obviously it might be backwards on the camera, make that into a 4, get the one on the left and put it over, under, pull through, then tighten, Then do the same, but from the other side. So left one over, right one under, and then pull tight. And there we go, and then we'll do that all across the top. So now I've got one full row of box knots. I'm going to do another one, but to make sure I connect all of them, instead of using the same 4 here, I'm actually going to put them to the side for now, and I'm going to use the next 4. So I've taken 2 strings out, which is fine. They're 2 strings from the first one, so I'm going to do the exact same. So I should be left with 2 on this side as well. So I'm going to do the same, get this strand, put it over the 2 middle strands to make a 4, take my strand on the left and put that over, under the back through this hole, pull it through. It should look a bit like that before you pull it tight. And then going to pull it tight and then do the same from the other side. Just to create that full box knot. So as you can see now, we have 2 box knots with one in the middle, so we're going to continue that across, so it should make sort of a little V shape going across. So as you can see, I've done my second row of box knots. I'm then going to do the exact same as I did with the first one. So take the first 4 strings, don't leave any out, do another row of box knots, and then I'm going to try a different knot. So as you can see, I've done my third lot of box knots. Now I'm going to do, I don't know what they're called. I'm going to call them DNA spirals because that's exactly what they look like. So you're going to start off with the first 4 strings like you were before, and you're actually going to do the same first half of the knot. So you're going to do a 4, you're going to get the 1 on the left, put it over, put it under, and then tie it up. But now instead of doing it the opposite way, you're just going to do it the same way. So doing it the same way, starting on the right, starting on the right again, and then starting on the right again. And you're literally just going to keep on starting on the right, pulling them tight, and you'll start to see it start to spiral round. I love these knots. I think they're super simple to do, but they look really effective. They look really hard, and they're really effective. You can use this on sort of plant holders. They're great for that, for macrame plant holders, which I actually made loads for Christmas. But as you can see, you then get this spiraled look. So I'm going to leave mine there actually, that amount of spiral. Now you can count how many knots you've done. That's a very sensible thing to do. But what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to knot until it gets down to sort of the same length, and I'm going to continue doing that across the whole lot of my strings. I also want to mention here, obviously this is 16 strings, this isn't very wide. If you want them wider, all you've got to do is simply add more strings at the start, and then obviously you just do the knots. Just make sure they're in a multiple 2, and that just makes your life a lot easier. So now I've got all my sort of spiral knots. I think that might be what they're called rather than DNA swirls, but as you can kind of see, I've put my hand behind it, it's kind of easier to see. But you sort of get that DNA swirl sort of look, which I really love. So now I'm going to do a row of, seriously, I kind of make these up as I go along. Once you've learned how to do the knots, you can just sort of think what you like and what you want to do. But I'm thinking I'm going to do a row of box knots now, but I'm going to do what I did before and leave the first 2 strings out, just because then it will then connect these DNA knots. So whenever you leave the 2 out, it then connects the middle 2. And I also forgot to say, if you like the way the box knots look and you can sort of do them, then you can miss out this step entirely and just do box knots the whole way down. And then when you take that off the pole, it then makes coasters. I'll insert a picture here. I made my sister a set of placemats and coasters using the same box knot trick. And they were amazing, and they took me hours and hours, but she really loved them. So that's definitely something you can do if you like the box knots. Then just type in box knot placemat tutorial. I'm sure it'll come up. I can link one below as well, but you can do that definitely. But as I say, I'm going to do now box knots in between each one, so leaving out the 2 end ones, and connect all these, and then I'll be right back. So now I've done a row of box knots, missing out the start 2 and the end 2 strings. I'm going to do another row of box knots, but including the strings on the end, just so they're all encapsulated in this layer. So I'm just going to do lots of box knots going across. You can tighten them up sort of however tight you want them, and that does affect the look actually. So my string, there it is. So yeah, also excuse my nails, I know they're chipped and grown out. I need to do them, that's on my list of jobs to do. How are you all coping in lockdown? As you can see, I'm trying to craft my way through. I know I've been spending far too much time on my phone, but I've been doing lots of work on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, it's just at @AmyLawrenceX. I've been doing loads of stuff on there, lots of interesting collabs coming up soon, which is super fun and super exciting. So to be honest, I've just been doing a lot of work for that, and a lot of work for my other businesses, which for those of you who don't know, is I have my own beauty studio, but obviously I'm closed at the moment during lockdown. But I also have a businesses selling ears that I make, like Disney ears, and that's just at Essex Ears on Instagram, and also on Etsy, which is where you can buy them if you want some. And then New Villa, which is me and Justin's furniture company where we buy and sell furniture and sort of hand select pieces, sort of upcycle them and give them a look of paint and things like that. So super exciting. So I've been doing lots of stuff on that. But also doing some crafts, which is super fun. I actually made a craft the other day and put it on my macrame. Made a macrame or macrame, depending on how you say it. I say macrame, which I get told off. I'm told that I'm wrong by my family. But yeah, I've been doing that a lot, and macrame is really soothing and I really enjoy it. And I actually made one and put it on my story the other day, and part of there, if you wanted a tutorial, then message me, and I did get a couple of messages saying you'd like to see how I did it. So it's super exciting that you guys kind of want to see and kind of want to learn macrame. I actually learnt it through Exo McKenna on YouTube. If you're not following her and you like a good DIY and home renovation, then definitely give her a follow, because she's amazing. She's got lots and lots of followers. But as you can see, I've now done a row of box knots underneath. So I'm now going to start making a diamond shape with box knots. So I'm going to miss out the first 2 strings on the next one like I did before. And then on the next one I'll miss the next 4. I'll show you how I do it as I go along. But I'm going to do another row of box knots, missing out the first and the last 2 strings. I'm going to leave out the first 4 rows of strings and then do my box knots as normal. So now I'm going to leave out the first 6 strings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then repeat. I'm now going to leave out the first 8 rows, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then repeat, obviously leaving 8 on that side as well. And then I'm going to do the same, but leaving 10 rows, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 10 on that side as well. I'm going to leave, but I'm just going to do my box knots in the middle. I'm then going to repeat, leaving 12 on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, if you look at the bottom of your macrame, you might see some of the strings are getting a lot shorter. Now, that's one of the really annoying things. I'm now just doing the last one, which is just in the middle. So that's one of the annoying things with macrame. You do actually waste a lot of cord, kind of no matter what. You have to have extra cord. So now we've got this beautiful V shape. Let me zoom out so you can see sort of what we've got so far. So we've got a gorgeous box knot at the top. We've then got a spiral sort of DNA. We've then got an arrow sort of down. Now I want to highlight this because I really like that sort of angular look. And then I also want to use these outside strings to sort of get them back in. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your furthest from the left or the right, whatever one you want to start with, over, and sort of pull it in the direction you want it to go in. Now you're going to get the one on the outside now. You're going to put it over. You're then going to put it under, through that loop you've just created, and pull tight. So you're going to grab the next one, pull it over, through the loop and then pull it tight. So as you can see, I've now gotten down to the middle half of this one. So I'm actually just going to let that string go now, which was my middle one, and which was originally my outside string, is now in my inside string. So I'm now going to do the exact same, but starting from the other side. So pull the string down, over, under, through the loop, and pull tight. As before, you're actually going to take, so you're still going to hold onto the string you've been working with, this one here, but you're actually going to take the middle string, which was your other side's main string, if that makes sense, and just do the same. Just tie it together in the middle, and now you can see it's all together in the middle here. Now don't worry about this looking a little bit messy for the moment, because we actually are now going to pick up our macrame from where it's hung. We're going to turn it around and put it on here. So as you can see, this is just the back of our macrame. So you can see where these loops were, they look slightly different. But what we're going to do is, to create this sort of look on the other side, we're going to just repeat what we just did. So we're going to repeat that on both sides, and then I'll come back to you. I'm now going to just switch that background to the front. Now as you can see, we've got sort of an underneath layer that's starting to form. You actually can't see it unless I sort of push it down for you to see. But we're going to sort of highlight that, and what we're going to do is we're going to do another row like that, just to really highlight that section. Just because then it'll have sort of a middle bit. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. You'll basically have a gap in between two rows, because we've done that sort of in between row from behind. Go forward and actually do a couple of these DNA spiral knots. So I'm actually just going to do that. So I'm going to do 4 in. I'm going to hook them ones out of the way. So I'm going to do 4 in, some of these 4 strands, do some DNA swirl ones. So I'm going to pull that down. And we'll do the same on the other side. Then 2 spiral knots sort of in there. I'm then going to start from the end and do a row of box knots starting about 1 inch below. Another row of box knots in between, sort of leaving out the first 2 rows and the last 2 rows like I've been doing before, and just to connect them so they don't look so flimsy. Right, so I've finished the project. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the shortest string, which I think is there. And I'm literally just going to use my scissors to cut all of the ends down. So I'm literally just going to use this comb, and starting at the ends, just brush, let me do these ones so you can see, brush them out, and as you can see they just start fraying. So I'm going to do that for all of them and then I'll be back. So as you can see, now I've frayed out the edges, which I ended up just using my hairbrush for. That's what I found best. You can see the ends now are super uneven again. So again, find your sort of shortest one and just recut the edges. So to reinforce the knot that's actually used to tie it on, as you can see, this little tassely bit, which is the end of the knot, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of my macrame cord that was actually spare, which we cut off, and some super glue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply super glue the end of this on and wrap it round, and just use that to keep that nice and tight on there. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.